Green flag, green flag.
Do apologize for the brief issues there, having some technical difficulties with audio. My apologies. I am so sorry. We have it fixed now. I do believe you should be able to hear me. Oh, what a way to start the night. Apologies again, everyone. That was a little bit more painful than I care to admit, but we'll get back to the action of racing here now. I've been talking to myself for about, well, since the race started here. Having some audio issues there. We got them under control, though. Everything seems to be in working order now. As we take a look here, a smaller grid than normal tonight. As I mentioned earlier, you guys could not hear me. We had the track info up. This track is just under just over half a mile in length here. So some short track action tonight for sure with the 100 laps. Do apologize there. Our lap counter was gone. That is my fault as well. We got it fixed now. Lap 14 of 100 now with Mr. Doyle Boyd currently in third place. quite a few drivers missing tonight. We did get word from one driver last week. The 14 of Chris Shriver is going to be retiring out of the StreetStock series, and he will be strictly racing in the truck series from here on out. And that of the 11 from Ricky will also be retiring out of the StreetStocks and sticking strictly to the truck series. A lot of folks changing up their minds here with the talks of the progression system rolling out in September of this year. Once the StreetStocks here and the truck series both conclude their season series, they will be rolling into a progression system, which I think is going to bring some great changes. Brings a lot more variety to the league. You know, we've been used to watching the StreetStocks and the trucks every week, and you know, the progression system to start with is going to add a series every so often. So, you know, and in September we'll have a new addition to a series. We will have StreetStocks, and then we will have SRXs. And then our truck series drivers, unfortunate for those guys, will be in limbo for about 3 or so seasons, because the drivers will be put through a progression system where they will have to make top 10 on their driver rating within a scoring system that the league is using that takes overall things into account, such as incident points, top 5 finishes, top 10, how many wins, and it gives them the chance to figure out who their top 10 well-rounded drivers are and promote them up to the next series. So some exciting things coming there. Can't wait for September to get here to get it all started. Of course, this is the 9th race of the season. And with that being said, we are just one race away from being halfway through this season for the StreetStock series and well on to our way for some playoff battles, with an exciting round of 12, a round of 8, and then a round of 4 before deciding who our Season 1 champion will be for the StreetStocks. So lots of things coming up in the very near future, and talking about it now, it sounds far off. But realistically, with the way time has been flying, it's really not that far away. So it's something we definitely need to start getting prepared for. We're definitely excited over here at PRN for the many changes coming and the new series being added. So these guys will get to progress up the ranks, with StreetStocks being the feeder series, if you will. And then moving on up into the SRXs, and then into ARCAs, and then trucks, Xfinity, and Cup. So we'll have 6 different series running. Be a spot for everyone, so it should make for some really good racing and different variations of racing as well. Definitely excited to see what happens there, as the 25 of Stephen Gall looks like he has been pretty dominant this race, to say the least. Let's jump up here with him for a minute and see what he's got going on. So we'll take a look at the 27 of Aaron Martin there. There's the 25 of Stephen Gall, currently in first place. Looks like he's doing a pretty good job tonight out there, holding it together. Nice little gap there between him and everyone else. Michael Baseball, if you're still with us in the chat, sir, thank you for joining us this evening. I would have acknowledged you earlier, but as I said, we were having some audio issues there. Hope you're still joining us, and see that you're pulling for the 001 out there tonight. That of Mr. Tater Boyd. currently in second position, trying to close that gap. Got about a 9-second gap between him and the 25 of Stephen Gall there. See if he can make up the difference. And pit strategy too, man. Pit strategy will play a role here. No more halfway stages, as the StreetStock series has done away with race control altogether. So the halfway stages are now gone. So this one will be about pure strategy here. Even though the track is only about a half a mile in length, still going to be room for some green flag pit stops here, and that always makes things interesting. It can shake up stuff a whole bunch. Speaking of new additions from earlier, how about the new additions to iRacing yesterday, adding the NASCAR Truck Series Ram finally? I know a lot of people were anticipating that one. Several of the drivers in the Truck Series, from what I've been hearing, have talked about swapping over to the Ram trucks this weekend at the Las Vegas race for the Truck Series. That too should be another interesting race. 60 laps at Las Vegas. They raced there, I want to say it was towards the end of the year. Hold on here. Let me take a look at my calendar. Let's see. Yes, I believe they raced at Las Vegas on December 20th. Sorry, it took me a little minute to find it there and get back to you on that one. I had to really look through my notes there because I had forgotten the initial race scheduled for that weekend was Sebring, which was a road course. And the league voted to change that track out for Las Vegas, so they ran that one December 20th. So just a few short months ago. Should be an interesting round two going back as the drivers look to add points to their standings. Stephen Gall in that 25 with a bit of a dominant performance out there tonight, gaining on the 45 of Brent Grandpa Thompson. Going to try to put him a lap down now. That 45 is going to try his best to stay up there, though. Doesn't want to go a lap down. No way to get saved from it here, as everyone else kind of just sitting comfortable in their positions here. We are going to take another look around the track since the 25 of Stephen Gall does have such a gap there. We'll let our cameraman focus around here, get a little bit of everybody possibly. Looks like he's pretty fixated in on the action here between the 25 and the 45. Oh, the 45 of Brent Thompson moves to the outside wall, and another bit of contact there. Probably sustained some wheel damage from that one. It looks like this one is a bit out of hand tonight. The 25 of Stephen Gall definitely came ready and prepared tonight, as he looks to gain on the other part of the field there. Three drivers on the backstretch currently. The 25 coming into turn 2 there, making his way down the backstretch now, trying to close the gap on the 74 and put him down a lap also. But right in front of him is the 27 of Aaron Martin, so he is clearly set on lapping the competition tonight, and looks like he's going to give it his best effort to do so. Dominant performance tonight by the 25. I'll do apologize, as the audio issues were a big problem in the beginning of this one. We missed out on some of the coverage. I know we had the race still going, and all of that stuff was going on. No way to really take a break from it and try to get everything fixed, as we are bringing you the action live from the track currently. Thompson Speedway. 41 laps completed now by the 25 of Stephen Gall, as he is still looking to try and close that gap on the 74 and 27 here. On the backstretch now, coming into the turn that they're now exiting. This guy is fast tonight, man. He is doing his best to catch up to those guys. Looks like we may have... Well, let's check back on the replay here. Looks like the 45 of Brent Thompson might have had a hiccup here. As we take a look from our slow-mo replay here, we want to give a shout out real quick to one of our sponsors who helps make all of this possible, our guys over at VB Racing, the Aaron Vogt, the two of Aaron Vogt, and the whole VB Racing crew. Appreciate you guys for what you do there. It looks like the 45 of Brent Thompson got a little bit loose and into the grass before back out on the pavement, so doesn't look to be anything too major. Looks like he had a little bit of difficulty trying to hold on to it there before finally stopping. I'm surprised that did not trigger a caution as he is still out on the track. Looks like he might be suffering from some of that wheel damage that we mentioned earlier. With contact from the wall there. So definitely not a good sign there. So we take a look at our track map there, and boy, the 25 is definitely closing in on the 74 and 27 there. As you see him coming in hot there around the turn. You gotta wonder how it's faring for his tires though, this short track action. And granted, I understand that, you know, iRacing had the update and the new tires that these guys are running with tonight, supposed to be a little more efficient on the tire wear. You have to wonder here just how much justice he's done those tires, really putting in those hot laps like that, as the 27 of Aaron Martin getting a little sideways there. He's able to hang on to it, though, but that does no justice for the deficit there between him and Stephen Gall. As the 25 of Stephen Gall now makes it around the 27 of Aaron Martin there, putting him a lap down now. Brent Thompson has now gone to 3 laps down. Seems the only two in contention right now who are on the current lead lap is the 001 of Mr. Doyle Boyd and the 74 of Kyle Simmons. Did not see this race going this way tonight, as the 27 of Aaron Martin going ahead and making his pit stop there after that slight loss of control. Brent Thompson now could possibly take advantage of this and maybe get one of his laps, well, won't get one of his laps back, but he'll have a lap advantage there possibly on the 27 of Aaron Martin as he comes out of pits now to head back out onto the track. All drivers now are almost a lap down here except for the 001 of Mr. Boyd, but he's not far from it. The 25 is coming around that turn hot, going to try to dodge the traffic of the 27 coming out onto the track here. 25 shooting to the inside, going to try to hold on to it and get around that 27. Aaron Martin 2 laps down now. Brent Thompson maintaining that 3-lap deficit there. Kyle Simmons with his lap down, so it's Mr. Doyle Boyd and the 25 of Stephen Gall currently on the lead lap. 53 laps out of 100 completed here. I will say I'm a bit shocked tonight at the size of the grid. We do know that a few drivers had to call off tonight because they had other commitments, and that's all right. They'll still get provisional points, and all that means for them is last place points. It's better than none. However, we also know on the flip side of that token, it's not as good as first place points here, so it really gives an opportunity for one of these guys, and it's looking like it's going to be the 25 of Stephen Gall to take advantage of those points tonight here, as he has come out and had a dominant lead tonight in this one. It's definitely been a good showing for him. No cautions tonight so far. Shocked about that one too. Normally short tracks are filled with cautions, as we saw last week at Bristol. Bristol was an exciting one to watch too, but man, was it a little bit chaotic at times. If you missed out on that one, be sure to go look at our replays there under the live section and find it and give it a watch. It's definitely a good race. Hard fought battle at the end there between the number 40 and the 25 of Stephen Gall. Definitely made for an interesting race. Obviously, the victor there in that one was the 25 of Stephen Gall, and the 40 of Zachary Audit wound up coming on top there, winning the race at Bristol, coming away with the 40 points there. Be curious to see how things shake up after this race is completed tonight, and we see the new point systems or the new point values next week. Next week is USA for these guys. They will head out for, check my schedule here so I can make sure I'm giving you accurate information, but I believe they're headed out there for another 100-lap race. Yes, that is correct. 10th race of the season. So next week we will officially be halfway through the StreetStock Series season. After the race at Thompson, the week of the 18th, these guys will have the 18th is the race at USA. The week of the 25th, these guys will have an off week, so there will be no StreetStock action that week. However, don't feel bad, don't fret. If you want to get in on the action and see some other action, jump in with our truck series on Saturday, as they will be racing that week. They do not have a week off for another month or so, I do believe, so a little bit more of a tedious and grueling schedule there for those truck series drivers as they prepare to head to Las Vegas this weekend. Stephen Gall now in the pits. And just that fast, we have a new leader currently with the 74 of Kyle Simmons running up front. Let's jump up there with him real quick. Looks like a lot of these guys pit, and some of them got their laps back. Obviously, we've got several now back on the lead lap as we round out 62 of 100 here. Two drivers still currently a lap down, the 45 of Brent Thompson and the 001 of Mr. Boyd now, with Stephen Gall in the 25 now back in the lead. Kyle Simmons in third. Aaron Martin in the 27 now in second. Bit of a shake-up there as we saw him go a lap down earlier. These guys were able to make that up pretty quick. Pit strategy is everything here. We just saw it change up the leaderboard for a solid 2 laps here. Depending on what you take in there, these guys have 2 extra sets of tires in the pits, so I'm assuming a lot of them took tires, which on these short tracks like this, it is necessary. Not taking tires could really wind up being extremely costly. So smart move there, but as we just saw, it can be enough to really make you go some laps down there, as we see 3 drivers currently a lap down. The 001 of Mr. Doyle Boyd was on the lead lap there running in second place, and looks like the pit stop there may have put him a lap down. as the 25 of Stephen Gall is basically just out there Sunday strolling. He doesn't really have much to worry about because the only person that's next in line behind him is the 27 of Aaron Martin, who has about a 16-second gap there on the 25. He's got to more so worry about the 25 catching up to him than anything else here. He's doing a good job at trying to keep the distance there, the gap, steady. But as fast as the 25 has been tonight, I don't know if he's going to be able to hold him off. It may only be a matter of seconds here before we see these guys back down a lap again, with the 25 of Stephen Gall being the only one on the lead lap. He is ever so slightly inching in on that 27. 001 of Mr. Tater Boyd there. Looks like he went into the pits. Let's take a look here at him for a minute. Not sure if he went in for damage. It looks like he may have run off the track there. As we hop back to the 25 of Stephen Gall, still currently in first place here with a nice little lead. Lap 70 of 100 completed now. Just 27 laps to go in this one, and this one's almost in the books, ladies and gentlemen. Still 27 laps. Anything can happen here, but we see the 25 of Stephen Gall is now caught up to the 27 of Aaron Martin, getting ready to pass him to make him a lap down, and now that will be the 25 of Stephen Gall, who will be the only driver on track who is on the lead lap. Mr. Tater Boyd in the 001 now 6 laps down currently. Does not take long here at these short tracks. Good solid performance tonight though. These guys are hanging in well. No cautions tonight. That is a bit odd for short track action. We don't typically see that very often. However, we are thankful for it because no cautions means green flag racing, which means this thing really gets to reach its peak performance at a relatively quick pace here, as the 27 got a little sideways and into the side of the 25 there. Both of them able to hang on though. The 27 looked like he was trying to fight hard there to keep from going that lap down, but it wasn't successful. The 25 was able to go in on the inside there and get around him. 24 laps to go in this one now, and it is all but almost finished. Hopefully next week's grid for USA will be a little bit bigger than it was tonight. 5 drivers tonight. A lot of them having stuff come up and other prior commitments. Everything is starting to matter at this point, being almost halfway into the season. We will start talking about the driver cutoff line. Only 12 drivers can make it into the playoffs. The grid here is not big to start with, so 12 drivers will basically be pretty much everyone you've been seeing that's been active in the racing. They'll get their chance to make it into the playoffs and compete for a championship. But when we get to that round of 8, the field is going to slim down some. And that's where we'll start seeing things getting down to the nitty-gritty. I would venture to say when we come back from our 1-week break after USA Speedway or International, the week of April 1st, these guys will be racing at Darlington. I would dare say when we hit Darlington, most likely go ahead and start having discussion talks about the playoffs and possible contenders. Do my best to try to get this thing figured out to where we can have us a cutoff line up on the leaderboard there so you know who's in contention and who is not. We'll figure something out, maybe changing the colors of folks' names. Definitely gonna need a way to keep up with it instead of the plain Jane white lettering up there. I really cannot believe, the more I say it, I guess the more real it sounds, but I cannot believe we are already at our halfway point here for this season. And what a season it has been so far. It's been really cool to see a lot of these guys grow and develop. Some of them that just started out, some of them that have been racing for a little while. It's been really cool to see them come out here and really showcase their skills and try to find some competition out on the track here. That's been interesting to see, and it's almost like you get to learn and grow with these guys as they grow. And that's always what it's about, should always be what it's about. It's nice to win. I don't know anybody that likes to lose, don't get me wrong, but league environments like this, you should be about learning and growing. I've been a iRacing member now for several years, and some of these guys that have been racing way less than I have in the truck series they've taught me a lot, learned a lot from them. Mr. Tater Boyd is still in the pits there. Not a good sign, but I would venture to say that his night is probably done for. 13 laps to go now, and we will be rounding this one out, and it is definitely looking like the 25 of Stephen Gall is going to make away with the prize pot tonight. The only thing that could shake this up and change things up is another green flag pit stop. However, with the lead he's got, I would venture to say that he would most likely just zip in there to get some fuel and get right back out. Don't see him taking too long there. Been a little while since we done it. But we're going to take a minute and cruise around this track with the 25 of Stephen Gall here from the view of his cockpit. I love how when I say that, cameraman decides to focus on someone else. Let's get us back up front with the 25 of Stephen Gall here as he throws down these last few laps toward the race conclusion. Kind of get a little bit of a view of what these guys are looking at out on the track out here tonight. Pretty dark in the cab for the most part. Oh, a little bit of brushing up against the wall there, but he holds it together. Looks like the 001 has... I don't know what's going on here. Here we go. Sorry, gents. I had us on the wrong thing there. I believe a couple of these guys may have may have possibly left the session here. Looks like the 001 of Mr. Boyd definitely left out of the session. 8 laps to go in this one now. This is pretty much done and over with here. 8 laps. Make that 7 as the 25 of Stephen Gall passes through, and we are that much closer to the end of this one. Even with there being only 7 laps to go in this one, 6 now, the 25 of Stephen Gall is still trying to close the gap between himself and the 74 of Kyle Simmons. Gonna try his best to put these guys another lap down. He has really gotten it done out there tonight. Definitely an impressive performance out there for the 25 of Stephen Gall. He is another one that's fun to talk about. When this guy first came to the league, it's almost like he had to find his groove out there. He had to get a feel for everyone else out on the track, and man, I tell you, he has rapidly done that here. He runs in the street stocks here with these guys, and he also runs in the truck series, and he's definitely doing his part here to make his name a household name for people to know who he is. Definitely been cool to see this guy getting out there. All of these guys, man. Gotten to know some of them on a personal level as I talk with them week in and week out and discuss racing things with them, and the several, the few driver interviews that we have had, post-race interviews. It's been really cool to kind of get their take from things and, hear from them on how they're progressing. Definitely has its challenges for sure, and it'll be real interesting to see what a lot of these guys get to do, especially when the progression system moves up and drivers, they start moving up to higher tiers, more competitive racing. 2 laps to go in this one now, so we are about to be on the white flag lap here. This time around, the flagman is waving just as hard as he can. This is the final lap of this one. The 25 of Stephen Gall pretty much has this one in the bag unless something crazy happens. I do know we were supposed to have a satellite enter Earth's orbit yesterday and land somewhere. Hopefully it's not here at this track tonight. It'll keep things the way that it is, with the 25 of Stephen Gall taking home the win tonight here at Thompson Speedway. Well-earned win. Hard fought. Good battle. Just absolutely dominant performance here tonight. As he stops there on the track, you see our fireworks in the background here. He's going to get his victory laps in. Looks like the tires were trying to stick a little better than they normally would there. Another solid performance tonight by the 25 of Stephen Gall. Excellent job. We will go ahead and get our results for tonight up. Stephen Gall takes home the win in first place here, with the 45 of Brent Thompson coming in second. Aaron Martin in the 27 coming in third. Kyle Simmons in the 74 machine coming in fourth. And Mr. Doyle Tater Boyd coming in fifth there. What a solid performance tonight. We will also go ahead and get up those point values for the current standings. This does not include the points from tonight's race, so obviously going to be a bit of some changes next week when we come back and take a look at our points here. Currently leading in the championship standings is the 40 of Zachary Audit with several wins this season so far, 255 points. Brent Thompson following behind him there closely in that 45 machine with 252 points. Then there is the 25 of Stephen Gall, who just took home the win tonight with 229. The 14 of Christian Shriver will be dropping down as he no longer will be running the street stocks. He retired out, but he is currently sitting at 223. 74 of Kyle Simmons at 222. Ricky is another one in the 11 that is retiring from the street stock, so he's currently sitting at 151. Mr. Papa Tater Boyd sitting at 150, and the 27 of Aaron Martin there at 146 in 8th place in the standings. Another good performance tonight, really good. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you again for joining us this evening. As always, if you are enjoying the content and you like what we're putting out, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel so you can keep up with all the scheduled streams and all the upcoming events we have. Round the clock, check them whenever you need to. We tend to update them at the beginning of the week, every week, at least by Wednesday, considering we are doing a broadcast for this on Wednesday night, so be sure to join us. As always, thank y'all and have a great evening. We'll see you again next week. Apologies, we will see you again this Saturday, hopefully, when the Truck Series takes to the track at Las Vegas. Y'all have a good evening. We'll see you then.